Welcome. My name is Kelly Dodge, and today we are going to continue in our five-part series in Canva. And we are talking today about posters. If you've missed any of the previous, you can go ahead and look in my YouTube and find the other four parts. We've covered flyers, logos, posts, and videos. And I will have more on here because I do plan to continue the series. And there were some previous. So you should be able to get quite a bit of information and some basics on Canva by watching my videos. So let's go ahead and get started. Today we are going to talk about posters. And so posters are going to be listed here in our choices here at the top. If I click more, it'll usually show me all kinds of things, common layouts and sizes. Here's a poster here. It's an 18 by 24. So this would be something if you wanted to have printed, maybe to put up an ad on a bulletin board or, a local community center, library, something like that, where you'd want a nice big poster. You can do this, as you can see, it's listed over here as well. And I'm sure that you can do a landscape poster as well. But we're just going to go ahead and start with the normal 18 by 24 poster. I'm not going to be able to print this, obviously. This would be something you would have to order from Canva, but I thought I would cover it because sometimes people would do this. And maybe it's something that you would do if you're going to a trade show or a vendor event or something like that. This might be a nice option for you to order for something like that, right? Maybe you do weddings or whatever kind of expos, right? And so, oh, hi, Tashina. Yeah, absolutely. I hope everything's okay. You usually are always here joining me every week. Okay, so um, let's pretend that we are getting ready for an event. Okay, so let's say we have a wedding expo that we're going to do, or better yet, maybe some kind of a community event. There's always community events in the summer, festivals and things like that, even small community festivals that you can actually get for fairly inexpensive. You can get a vendor booth. Okay. And so vendor booths, they're easier to get there versus like at a farmer's market. A lot of times, the farmer's market, it has to be handcrafted things, homemade things of some kind. And so they don't usually let you in a farmer's market, but festivals are great. Sometimes they're fundraising and they're always looking for people who want some kind of a booth or something to advertise or advertise their services or sell. So this would be something nice to do. And so let's do a oops. I'm going to search for templates to see if I can find anything that I like. And so we can use some keywords to search. And so I could do travel um, as a keyword. I, well, there we go. Travel. And you could also use this for team building as well, right? So you could also, do a couple. You could do one for team building, you could do one for travel, something to advertise your services. Okay. So we may not want to do a one particular destination if we're doing something like that, unless you do have a very specific niche. All right. And so in that case, maybe you would want something that is very specific. So like a bridal event or something like that. So let's see if we can find something that's eye-catching. I like things that are bright and colorful because they're eye-catching. And a lot of times these signs can be, these designs can be a little bit, the color schemes are a little bit boring for me. And especially if you are having a booth that's outdoors, right? You might want to make sure that you're catching eyes from a distance, right? Now, while this is colorful, that's a little bit too busy, in my opinion, to catch someone's eye. I really want to make sure that I am setting it apart from something else. And so a lot of times what I do, this is bright. A lot of times what I do is I will create my own. I'm just going to just from scratch create my own because I'm going to be able to find a picture that I like better than anything. So I want, your blues, your bright blue, your orange, reds, anything that's very colorful. I would say red and orange are my favorite as far as eye catching. So I'm going to change this. I didn't find a template that I liked, although I could try some different styles if I had some saved, like some color styles. But I'm going to go here to elements and I'll show you what I would like to do. So I am going to go and I am going to look at photos. I think if I can find one that I like. So I'm just going to open these photos up and then I am going to click travel again. And I don't know if I'm going to find something that I like, but I think it's important to make sure that we are selective if we are really trying to catch someone's eye. And so you don't want to blend in with, everything else, right? So I don't see anything that's catching my eye that I believe that if someone was walking by my booth, that it would make them want to stop. All right. So this nice red, that's not so bad, but that doesn't really make me want to travel. And so I could definitely let's look for a cruise ship. All right. So I am going to change my search to cruise ship. And I may not be able to get a photograph because cruise ships are also not very bright typically. And so I may end up having to change what I'm looking at. Maybe I want a really colorful ship like a um we could do Icon of the Seas actually. So I do have probably uploaded Icon of the Seas, or I could go ahead here and I'll show you what you can do if you don't find what you like. And this is a really good example of what you do if you are looking for something very specific. It doesn't have to already be in Canva in order for us to grab it and use it. All right. The reason why Icon of the Seas comes to mind is that they have some really nice pictures of its brightness in the dark. Okay. So when it's nighttime and the ship is all lit up, there's some nice back end photos of it, as well as this one here isn't bad at all. It is nice and bright and colorful. And so it's also, once I click on that, it's going to show me other ones that are similar, right? So once I find something colorful, maybe this wasn't what exactly I was looking for. I'm going to be able to see some other things. Now this is the most common one that I see, or maybe it's just because I use it quite a bit. Because it's the back of the ship and it says Icon of the Seas, but you can still see it here. And I think that I would like to see if I can use this. Now I have one anticipated issue with this, and I will see if it happens. It's going to be that when I go to make this, I'm just going to paste it here. All I'm doing is copying that picture and pasting it. What happens when I try to set the image as a background? So all I've done is click on these three dots here. And one of my choices is to set the image as a background. Now what happens is as you can see, it cuts off the ship, right? Because it just zooms the picture all the way in. So what I am going to attempt to do, and sometimes this works for me, is I am going to try to stretch it out as much as I can without cutting it off. All right. And so I can try to stretch and make it as large as possible. And then I can add some font. I could put or some text to this. I could put this at the top, and I could put some some text at the bottom or vice versa. And I think that would be really nice. I could also put it in the center. And so if I'm going to position it, I'm going to go here to this position and I want it to be in the middle. All right, it's already centered. I want it to be in the middle. And then I'm going to put some type here, so to speak, a text saying whatever I want to say. So I'm gonna color the background. And so if I click on this background, it's showing that it's white. If I hover here where that says background color, and I can change it to whatever color I want. Maybe I want to make it blue to kind of blend with the background. Maybe I want to make it red because it's really bright. It hurts my eyes a little bit. But you could really do whatever color you felt would be nice and eye-catching. All right. So if you think about being outdoors, what colors are going to catch your eye, right? And so orange is a nice bright color. Let's try this. I like to make sure that it kind of blends in a little bit, but I think that's okay. So here is another thing that I could do. So I could go ahead and take the brand name as well. And so I have some logos that I have already saved. I'm not sure if they are, oh, there we go. I've got a Royal Caribbean here. And see, am already regretting this. I'm already regretting this color for my background. All right. Although I am going to try to remove the background and I am going to do this background remover. Now this is a pro feature, but removing the background is going to allow me to place this picture here and the background is removed. Now it does change our coloring for our Royal Caribbean, and so this makes me want to change the background, right? So the background portion was white, and so let's see. What do I want to do here? Because I don't love the way that does that. And so let's go ahead and put my background back to white temporarily, at least until I figure out exactly what it is that I want to do. Because I can stick some white just behind that and it would be, whoops, and it would be okay. And so I could definitely try doing that if I want to. All right. So or I could leave Royal Caribbean off, right? Because maybe I'm not just featuring Royal Caribbean, I'm just using this as an example of a cruise. All right, so I could take that off and I could, but I don't think I loved the orange. I get very picky about the um, content that I make and make sure that it's visually appealing. And I believe fully that it is the details that matter, right? Because there are details that people notice, but they don't realize that they notice, right? Sometimes a picture will look off and they won't know exactly why, but it's still off. And so it can be a little off-putting and not as attractive or enticing, right? So I like to try to make sure that my content is what I want. Now I would love to match this water a little bit better. And so I could actually change this entire background to be a water picture. All right. So let's go back to elements. And again, this is all just the same concept that you use whenever you are creating anything in Canva. And so I'm going to look for some water that's pretty dark, right? So I could put this on here and then I could do, all I'm going to do is replace the background. And then my background is not exact, but I could keep looking to see if I found something that was nighttime. I could put night ocean. Um, and see if I could find something that is I could try this. And I could replace the background. And I don't think, the colors aren't exactly, as you can see, I told you I get a little bit picky about what it looks like. And so, while it's not completely a deal breaker, I think that it is important to try a little bit. Now, I'm not worried about that ship because I don't think it's going to show. But I'm looking for I feel like that didn't go. Maybe no, that's definitely not the same one. Hang on a second. I delete the background, and I'm gonna try this again. I'm gonna set that image as the background. Well, it's definitely not this one, but oh, why it's not going on there. Um, could try this. Or I could simply try to match the color altogether, which I could do. It's gonna be too, think I'm better off just using a color background. Um, and trying to match the color. So what we would do is we would go into the blue and then we would just look to um darken it a little bit so that it matches a little bit. You're not going to get the waves or what have you, but at least, I mean, it's okay that they see that that's a picture, but at least it isn't as distracting. So that's an option. So now let's add some text, right? So we were going to create this poster, and maybe we want to entice them in a couple of ways. So we're going to do add a text box, and I am going to choose. We couldn't load your fonts. There we go. I'm going to just do a subheading. I'm going to erase this one. I'm going to do a subheading here, and I am going to change my color because I want my color to pop. So I'm just going to the color and I'm changing it to white. I think white looks really great on a dark background. It really pops a lot more than black does. So I am just going to change this and I'm going to say, wanna cruise. And then I'm going to put this across the top. And I can either stretch this like this and it'll center it, or I can use my position and I can center it. I am going to make this font a different and a little bit larger. And so I'm going to choose like one of my favorite fonts that I like that's eye-catching but still readable. Unfortunately, a lot of people can't read cursive anymore. Our younger generation has no idea what we're I do like this font for some reason. I don't know why, but I do. And so I'm going to do this just because, I am going to just make it a little bit larger. I want it to pop. Want to cruise? Right? I want to catch their eye. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to appeal to multiple campaigns, so to speak. Okay. So I'm putting wanna cruise, right? And here at the bottom, I'm going to put some text. Now they may say, um, let's see, do I want to cruise? I'm gonna put something else in here, I think. I'm gonna put this, I'm gonna put for free. Want to cruise for free. Okay. Now, I am going to want to cruise for free. I might want that a little bit more. Want to cruise for free. Again, I probably shouldn't use cursive, but I think I am. And I'm going to put one more little bit of text here. All right. And so I'm going to write, ask me how, or I should put, ask me about 2 ways to cruise for free. All right. And so I'm going to make this a little smaller because I want it to be all in one line. I don't like anything to hang over. And I'm going to center this. So I'm going to make sure, okay, it's centered. And ask me about 2 ways to cruise for free. All right. So this will get clients coming to ask you why, how, right? Everyone's going to be curious to know how in the world can I cruise for free, right? And so, want to cruise for free? Ask me about 2 ways to cruise for free. Okay. So here's what I'm going to put at the bottom. All right. So we're going to be doing 2 things. We're going to be trying to find a group leader. All right. Got a group. Got a group. You can you can get you can cruise for free with your group. And I'm going to put an asterisk here, right? Because conditions will apply, right? And so those conditions are going to be that they have to have a group of 16 cabins, and then they can absolutely cruise for free, right? If someone's ready to head up a group, I am more than happy to give them our free, we get tour conductor credits when we Royal Caribbean, when we do 8 cabins, and 16 cabins is a double. So you get 1 berth, which is half a cabin for 8 cabins, and then at 16 cabins, it's the entire cabin for 2, right? And so I can choose to keep it. I can choose to turn that into commission, or I can keep it, meaning I go on the cruise, I can turn it into commission, or I can give it to one of the members, right? And if someone is going to gather up and be a leader for this group, I'm absolutely happy to give them my tour conductor credits. So that's going to be one way, right? And it, isn't that easy? Now you've got someone else working to create a group for you. The other way is going to be that we are going to, they can become an agent, right? And so I'm going to put that here, become an agent. And I'm going to put asterisks there as well, because just becoming an agent doesn't get you a cruise. You have to complete your Princess Cruise training, right? And so I am going to center this as well. It's a centered, good. All right. And so I am going to got a group. Uh, let's see. So, I don't like how, I guess either one of those will work though. That's okay. All right. So I could put or between this if I want, or I could put option 1. I guess I could put option 1, become an agent, option 2, create a group. I could just do create a group. Cruise with your group or become an agent. Okay, there. It's a little bit shorter. I don't like how, and because I want to make these fonts to be about the same size, or the sentences to be about the same size so that I can put this. Now, if this is a flyer, I don't have to really put my contact information unless I was going to post this somewhere, right? So, um, I want to make sure my font the same. All right, 82, 87. We're going to match this. All right. Cruise with your group or become an agent. All right. And so I think I'm going to have to add a little bit of a bullet here, and maybe I will put a cruise ship as my bullet. And I am going to think I'm going to put or become an agent so that they don't think. So I'm going to move this down so that I can put or really tiny in there just because. So I'm going to put or, and I'm going to pull this down. And I want to make sure, whoops, center, not middle. Uh, okay, so center or become an agent. I could do, I don't like that it's not standing out as much as I like. And so I could do this. Whatever, or become an agent. All right. And so I want to see how much room I have here at the bottom, and I don't have much. And I want to make sure it says conditions apply. So I'm going to move this up. I'm going to move this up. And I'm probably just going to put like, ask me for details. So I need another little disclaimer body of text. And so I'm just going to put, conditions apply. Please ask me for details. And this is our fine print. So in true fashion, it's going to be fine print. Okay. It's just a CYA, right? And so we're going to put that at the bottom, center. All right. And so I do want to also put my contact information here, just because in case I want to reuse this when I'm not, you know, maybe when I'm not using it at an event. Okay. So I'm going to do a couple of things here though. I am going to go to my elements, and I'm going to go to my recent here, recently used. And I always use this little thing here, a frame, because I want to pop my logo in there. All right. And so then I'm just going to go to my logos, and I am going to pop it in, and I am going to add a small bit of border around it. Just because I want it to look a little defined. All right, so that's that. And then I'm going to add my phone number, I think, right here on top of the picture. All right, just because that looks like that's probably the best way to put it, or best place to put it anyway. So I'm going to add another little body of text, and I'm going to put my phone number in here. And I'm going to pull it down and make sure that I like the way that it looks. So I feel like I want to pull this down a little bit because it's too close to the phone number now. So I want a happy medium here. I just want a good readability, and I don't want everything bunched together. All right. And so this is a really, basic flyer. that could be used, or if not flyer, I'm sorry, I keep calling it a flyer. We're going to make this into a poster is what we're going to do. But you could absolutely also post this digitally as well. And it's going to be absolutely fine. It's still going to post, right? So if I click, it says print with Canva. That is an option because I'm pretty much done here. And so I can click print with Canva. And when I print with Canva, it'll allow me to order, right? Quality posters delivered to your doorstep. Now, I will tell you that I've never done this because I'm cheap, all right? And I'm going to do everything as low cost or free as I can. But this would cost $43.50, right? And so it's a pretty big deal. But if in my opinion, but again, this is something that you could use over and over. You could also upload this and you could get someone local to do like a I can't think of what the material is called, but more on the lines of you would see that advertised at a ball field or some kind of it's not a flag, but you probably know what I'm saying, because you could totally get that printed onto one of them. I know Vistaprint, lots of places do it. And so once you have the image created, they could go ahead and recreate that for you. So if I don't want to order it, I'm not going to select this print from Canva, but I could click share. And then if I do just want to download it, I can click download. It will verify what type of a uh, file that I want. And then if I wanted it to be transparent background, etc. And so I'm just going to click download. All right. And so this is now downloading and it will be available to me. And I could totally post this onto my social media, which maybe I don't have my Facebook up, but I could totally just post this right to social media. And I'll show you that it would look just fine. As a post or, okay, well, so weird because I was having this last night. I was having trouble with stuff loading. And I haven't had that trouble since okay, there we go. All right. Here's my little grandbaby. She just turned 12. She was a preemie. This is her first appointment. Okay. Sorry. Shiny object. All right. So let's go ahead and just post this. So I'm just going to click photo video and we're going to pull it because I just downloaded it. It's going to be right here. And there we go. And so here we go, right? So want to cruise for free? Ask me 2 ways to cruise for free. Cruise with your group, become an agent. Conditions apply. Please ask me for details. All right. So I probably should have put an asterisk there as well, but that's okay. No one's going to come after me. And so I'm going to just click next and I'm going to post that to 3 of my pages. Actually, I'm going to post it to my business page and my team building page, right? And so here you go. As you can see, it makes a really nice post as well, right? Or it could be printed. And so sometimes if I want to make sure I have a nice big post on social media, I'll go ahead and make a flyer because it feels a little bit bigger sometimes than the others. So that is how you create a poster. And again, you could create it in, for many different reasons.